Okay, now we're going to talk about covalent bonds. So we're going to look at the example that is in your packet. We're working with carbon, which is on the right-hand side of the periodic table, which makes it a non-metal. And I'm not really used to writing with a stylus, so you'll have to excuse my handwriting. And then we also have hydrogen, which is on the left-hand side of the periodic table, but it is the exception to the rule because that is the only non-metal on the metal side. And we know that when we have a non-metal and a non-metal, we do in fact have a covalent bond. So the first thing we're going to do is draw the Lewis dot diagrams for carbon and hydrogen. So you're going to look through your Bohr model cards to find carbon, and your Lewis dot diagram should look like this. All right, carbon has 4 valence electrons, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 valence electrons. Hydrogen has 1 valence electron. So you want to confirm that with your Bohr model card, because on your Bohr model card for hydrogen, it should have the Lewis dot diagram that looks like that. So in the previous video, we had talked about how when you have only 1 valence electron by itself, it is not in a pair, and that's where it's going to want to bond to satisfy the octet rule and be stable. Right? So carbon has 4 different areas where it can bond. So in order to show a covalent bond, you're going to encircle the 2 electrons that are being shared. So with this 1 hydrogen, we see that we still have 3 spots where we need valence electrons. So that means we're going to add hydrogen atoms, or we're going to add enough hydrogen atoms to fulfill all of those spots. So now we have the leeway to change the position of our Lewis dot diagram so that it is easier to show the bonding between the carbon and hydrogen atoms. So instead of being 1 dot on the right-hand side of my hydrogen atom, I can now spin it around my chemical symbol H so that it's easier to show the bonding between the 2. So now when I look at my diagram, I can see that now each side of the carbon atom, right, is now paired. And if we count, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We have 8 valence electrons, which satisfies the octet rule. So now, instead of drawing ions, because we don't make ions in a covalent bond, we are going to draw out the structural formula, which is basically writing out what we see in front of us. So we have a carbon atom in the middle with a single bond to a hydrogen atom here, a single bond to a hydrogen atom there, a single bond to a hydrogen atom on the left, and a single bond to the hydrogen a single bond with a hydrogen on the bottom. Okay, and then finally we draw the chemical formula for this, which is CH4. We have 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms, and that CH4 is in fact methane. And that is how you do a covalent bond. There are 3 of them to practice in your packet. Let's give it a try, and I will be here to answer any questions and help you out.